Okay, so straight off the bat, this is going to be a very heavy topic to talk about. So, quick disclaimer, if you're very sensitive to heavy topics such as mental health and whatnot, you know, I advise you listen with caution or click off. Every type of injury you receive will eventually heal, like a paper cut. You know, you get a paper cut, like it hurts for a bit. It hurts, actually, it hurts like hell for a while, and then you forget that it actually exists, and then all of a sudden it heals within a day or two, and still see the cut line, but brain is pretty much gone by that point. Say you get an arm broken, that gets healed too. Sure, it's very painful, but eventually it heals. However, there are certain injuries that heal but never fade away. And that's what scars are. You can have scars. Say, for example, I have a scar on my head. So, when I was a little kid, I was playing with one of my dad's tools. It was a rolly thing. I actually don't know what it is. I might need to research what it was. Regardless, I was playing around with it while my dad was washing the truck. And one of the doors were open because he was still cleaning the inside of the truck as well. And all of a sudden, I tripped, and safe to say I got a pretty nasty scar on my head. You might be asking what the point of all this is. And the scars that I'm going to be talking about are not physical scars that are typical. I'm talking about mental scars that you might obtain throughout life, any traumatic experiences. And those scars will end up shaping you in some way. And they heal within time, but they never fade away. One such scar that I've gotten was a few years ago, actually. This was during the time when I actually started to go on the internet now. It was like 13, so 8th grade, 9th grade. I had gone into my first relationship. And while I won't get into details as to how it was, all I can say is that it was pretty toxic from both sides. They were a very important person to me because at the time I was pretty lonely. I had no one to talk to because obviously I just started going on the internet and then didn't really have any internet friends, and most of my friends that I had were not really my friends, and it was pretty much there for me. And from the start of our friendship and what became our relationship, he wasn't mentally okay, and a lot of the times he was pretty vocal about it, and I felt pretty inept. Is that the right word? I just felt like I couldn't do anything about it because it was a long distance thing. I couldn't help him out. All I could do was just tell him to get help and just fucking be there for him, I guess. It got to a point where he pretty much needed me to be there. For time reference, this takes place like 2018. Yeah, 2018. Pretty much at the peak of Fortnite. Yeah. I was playing Fortnite one day with a couple of friends from middle school. Throughout that session, I was pretty much having a good time. And after, I would die or we lose a game and queue into another match, I occasionally check my phone, see what's up. But one of those times that I checked was it was scary. What had happened was he needed me. He said he couldn't really take it anymore. And this happened a lot. Like a lot. And I just didn't know how to help most of the time. and I didn't want to repeat myself. You have the same fucking, I don't know what to do, how to help. And the fact that I was the person that he relied on just added more pressure onto me. And it's one of those times where I just couldn't be there for him. And thankfully he didn't take his life, but it left a bad impression on him that I wasn't there for him when he needed it. To this day, I check my phone more often than I would like. And sure, it's because I've pretty much gotten addicted to the internet and whatnot. There's also more nuances, more layers to it. It's the fact that anyone, really, that I care about will come to me for help, and I won't be there to help them out because I'm not checking my phone. And from that day, I've pretty much been chronically stuck online, waiting for the time where I'm needed. It was a scary thing. Little 13-year-old me, I didn't know how to handle that. And because I was alone, I didn't really have enough people to talk about that. So I had to keep it inside. And I just created more repressed emotions, and that bled into my other relationship recently. And pretty much turned out the same way, where I just didn't know how to help. And I was never really there for them when they needed me. It wasn't because of the fact that they weren't mentally okay. It's just the fact that I hurt them. And the person that they relied on the most hurt them. Recently, a friend of mine who likes to do track pretty much told me that after 4 years, he doesn't really enjoy running track anymore. That he did it not for fun, but to impress people now. And it became a chore for him. And that he didn't know how to tell his parents, his coach, about what he felt. And I just, I couldn't help. I didn't know how to respond to that. And obviously I can't respond to everything. I can't help everyone. But it's that same scar from that one day that kicked in. And it's a scary thing, regardless of the severity of the situation. It's just scary that I can't help people, that I can't be there for them. And that scar pretty much shaped me to be someone paranoid. Or a part of me is pretty distant, if you will. I grew distant from the people that I care about, people that I'm attached to. Because if I'm not really close to them, then I can't really be hurt by them because they won't rely on me as much. And therefore, I won't have to help them as much as before. But obviously, that's a flawed way of thinking. It's not very healthy to push people away from my life and such. And that's something I gotta work on, And there's other scars that I would like to talk about, but the moral of the story is that scars, while they can heal, they will never fade away. And how you respond to that scar will shape you to the person who you be. Whether you'd work hard to try to fix the problem at hand, how to mend the injury, if you will. It's important that you don't forget these scars because they are in of itself lessons that you must learn. And if you're currently struggling to manage your emotions, if you're currently struggling through a very hard time, it's important to have those people that you feel comfortable with talking about your problems, and that you make sure that they're actually there for you. That they not only that, but that they actually care for what you have to say, and not just someone that says okay and whatever. Just basically people that just do not give a shit about your problems. Surround yourself with people who will make sure that you're okay. Even if it's like a few days a week, or even if they check in occasionally, just make sure you have those type of people. Do not let these scars control you, because if you let them control you, they're going to ruin your relationships that you have. I hope this video did you well and you learned something from it, and I hope you guys have a good day.